Hello students, today in this video we are going to study about conversion of a galvanometer. As we have studied previously that galvanometer is a basic instrument for electrical measurements, like it is a sensitive current detector that we can use to detect a current because the coil present in the galvanometer deflects proportionally to the current flowing through it, and in that way it can detect the current flowing in the circuit. But it can also be used as an ammeter or a voltmeter, so we can convert this galvanometer into an ammeter or a voltmeter depending on what we want to measure. If we want to measure current in a circuit, then we convert this galvanometer into ammeter, or we can say we can use that galvanometer as an ammeter by doing some conversions if we want to measure the current, and if we want to measure the voltage, then we can convert that galvanometer into a voltmeter. But there are certain essential conditions, or I should say essential requirements, that should met while converting a galvanometer into ammeter. So main 2 points that we have to consider while conversion is that the first point is the ammeter or voltmeter that we are making by converting the galvanometer, it should be accurate, reliable and sensitive. So the finally formed ammeter or voltmeter that we are making by using a galvanometer, it should be accurate, reliable and sensitive. To get proper results or to find exact values of current or voltage in a circuit, if we are using this galvanometer by converting into ammeter or voltmeter, we have to keep in mind the device that we are making from that galvanometer. The device should be accurate, reliable and sensitive so that we can get exact results that we are required. The second point that we have to keep in mind is that the use of these devices in a circuit must not change the current in the circuit or potential difference across any element of the circuit. Like if we are using galvanometer as an ammeter, so we have to keep in mind that it should not change the current in the circuit. Or if we are using galvanometer as a voltmeter in the circuit, then we have to keep in mind that it should not change the potential difference across any element in the circuit. So combinedly we can write it as the use of these devices in a circuit must not change the current in the circuit or the potential difference across any element in the circuit. So this we have to keep in mind. If we are using it as an ammeter, then current must not change, and if we are using it as a voltmeter, then potential difference must not change. Only then we can get the exact results what we are in the need of. Okay, so let's see how this conversion can be done. So we are going to see it one by one. First we are seeing how we can convert a galvanometer into an ammeter. To convert a galvanometer into an ammeter. Okay, ammeter is a device that is used to measure the current. Now there is a difference in galvanometer and ammeter. Galvanometer is used to detect the current present in the circuit, means galvanometer doesn't give any kind of magnitude कि कितना current flow हो रहा है. It only shows that there is some current. Galvanometer only detect the presence of current, while ammeter give the exact value that how much current is flowing in the circuit. So ammeter is a device that is used to measure the current through a circuit element. So first we have to know what is ammeter. So ammeter is a device that is used to measure the current. So to measure the current, this ammeter is inserted in a circuit in series, because we know that in series the current remains same throughout the circuit. So while using the ammeter, we connect it in series with that element, so that current which is to be measured actually passes through it. Means जितना current circuit elements में से pass हो रहा है, exact value of the current should pass through the ammeter so that it can detect, it can measure, actually it can measure कि कितना current उस circuit में flow हो रहा है. So to measure the current, ammeter is used in series with the circuit element. All right, first thing is that it is used to measure the current, and to measure the current, second thing is it has to be connected in series with the circuit. Next point that we have to remember is that since it is used to measure the current, so to ensure that the insertion of ammeter in the circuit doesn't change any current, the ammeter should have zero resistance. As we know that the insertion of these devices must not change the current or potential difference. So ammeter अगर हम use कर रहे हैं, we have to measure the exact value of current that is flowing through the circuit without changing it. So we have to ensure that by inserting the ammeter in the circuit there is no change in the current, and for that ammeter should have zero resistance. So this is the case when we have ideal ammeter. Whenever we get an ammeter that should have zero resistance, we call it as ideal ammeter, because practically it is not possible. Practically we can't design an ammeter which has exactly zero resistance. So we actually use an ammeter that have very effectively very small resistance. Okay, so ammeter that we are going to use or that we are going to design should have a very small effective resistance. Actually we want to get zero resistance, but that is the ideal case which is not possible all the time. So we are trying to design an ammeter which have very small effective resistance. So our task is to design an ammeter that have very small effective resistance. By doing so, or by making such kind of ammeter which has very small effective resistance, whenever we insert it into the circuit the current remains unchanged, and we can get the exact value of current that is flowing in that circuit. So let's see how we do that. So what we are going to do for conversion is to get an ammeter of very small effective resistance from galvanometer. We want to reduce the resistance or the effective resistance of that galvanometer. So to do that we are going to connect that galvanometer with a shunt. Okay, the resistance connected parallel to that galvanometer is called a shunt. Because of doing so, only a small part of the total current passes through the galvanometer and remaining current passes through the shunt. Now the value of shunt resistance depends on the range of the current required to be measured. So what we are going to do, we know that the galvanometer is a sensitive instrument. It shows a full scale deflection for even a very small value of current of the order of microamperes. So if we want to measure large value of current from it, a small resistance is connected in parallel with the galvanometer coil. Now let's see how it is done. We have a galvanometer, and to make it work as an emitter, we are going to connect a small resistance, capital S, in parallel to that galvanometer. Now by doing so, the current that is traveling from here, this current will divide it into two parts. A small value of current passes through the galvanometer, and since this resistance or the shunt has a very low resistance, so a major part of the current will go through it. The current that is going through the shunt is I minus Ig, because I is the total current and Ig is the current passing through the galvanometer. And this much current, same I minus Ig, is flowing here, and again these got met at the point B, and flow current I will flow in the circuit. So this system of shunt connected to the galvanometer combinedly, this whole system combinedly forms an emitter, and we place this system in series in that circuit. Okay, so a galvanometer and a shunt are connected in parallel to obtain an emitter. Now shunt is actually a low resistance which is connected in parallel with a galvanometer. So shunt is what? Shunt is a low resistance that is connected parallel to the galvanometer to obtain an emitter. Now since this galvanometer and this shunt are connected in parallel, so the potential difference across the two is same. That means potential difference across galvanometer is equal to potential difference across shunt. So potential difference across galvanometer is actually IR. IR is Ig into G. Ig is the current flowing through the galvanometer and G is the resistance of the galvanometer. In case of shunt, it is I minus Ig into S. By rearranging that, we can find the value of shunt S, and it will be Ig upon I minus Ig into G. Okay, so this is the value of shunt that we are going to connect parallel to the galvanometer, and by connecting this shunt of resistance capital S across the given galvanometer, we can get an emitter of the desired range. Now we know that the deflection in the galvanometer is actually proportional to the current that is flowing through it. So in this case, the deflection across this galvanometer will directly be proportional to Ig, because Ig current is flowing through it. If we rearrange this formula, we get Ig is equal to S upon G plus S into I. This shows that the deflection in galvanometer is directly proportional to Ig, which is directly proportional to the current capital I, that means the total current. So the deflection in the galvanometer is proportional to Ig, and hence it is proportional to capital I. So the scale can be adjusted to read the value of current I directly. There is not as such a problem to do that. Means the scale that we were using was measuring Ig, so we can adjust that scale to measure I, because deflection is directly proportional to Ig and Ig is directly proportional to I. That means deflection is also directly proportional to I. So an emitter is a shunted or low resistance galvanometer. So what we have concluded, the conclusion is that we can convert an emitter by putting a small resistance shunt in parallel to the galvanometer, or we can say that an emitter is a shunted or low resistance galvanometer. Now this whole setup of emitter, we talk about this whole setup of emitter has the effective resistance equivalent to G parallel S. This is the net effective resistance what this emitter has. So the effective resistance of emitter will be effective resistance. We can write it as RA because it is the effective resistance of emitter that we have formed. It is equal to the resistance that we get by putting S parallel to G, so it will be GS upon G plus S. Okay, we can get it by the combination 1 upon RA is equal to 1 upon G plus 1 upon S. By solving this we can get RA is equal to GS upon G plus S, and it will always be less than S. हमेशा इसका वैल्यू जो आपने शंट रेजिस्टेंस लगाया है उससे कम होगी. So this is the emitter that we can form by using a galvanometer. Now let's talk about the voltmeter. The voltmeter is a device to measure the potential difference. So we know that voltmeter is a device to measure potential difference across any 2 points in a circuit. If we have a circuit, then we can find potential difference across any 2 points by using voltmeter. To measure the potential difference, we have to connect this voltmeter in parallel with the circuit element. Okay, so we have to connect to measure potential difference across any circuit element. Voltmeter is connected in parallel with that element. Okay, in parallel with that element. Now the next thing that we have to remember that a small part of the total current passes through the voltmeter when it is connected to parallel to that. So the current through the circuit element decreases. Now this decreases the potential difference required to be measured. When we connect the voltmeter, the small part of the total current passes through the voltmeter, and because of that the current through the circuit element decreases. Now because the current through the circuit element decreases, there is a decrease in the potential difference which is required to be measured. To avoid this, the voltmeter should be designed to have a very high resistance. So to avoid the decrease in potential difference, voltmeter must have a very high resistance. Now ideally, if we talk, then ideally this should be infinite, but that is the ideal case. Ideally the resistance should be infinite, but practically the voltmeter that we design, it should have a very high resistance so that no current pass through it, or almost negligible current pass through it, and there is no decrease in the potential difference across the circuit element. So to do so, to design that voltmeter, we are going to have a high resistance and put that high resistance in series with the galvanometer. Okay, so to get a high resistance voltmeter, we have to put a high resistance capital R in series with the galvanometer, and this combinedly forms a voltmeter. These are the ends A and B. Current going to the galvanometer is Ig, and the potential difference across this is capital V, and this whole setup forms the required voltmeter. Okay, now a galvanometer can be converted into a voltmeter by connecting a high resistance, because by connecting a high resistance in series with it, it's in the setup has a very high net resistance and work as a voltmeter. So the value of this resistance can be adjusted so that the only current Ig which produce full scale deflection passes through the galvanometer. Means the current Ig that produce full scale deflection in capital G galvanometer should pass through the galvanometer. We have to pick the value of capital R like that only, right? So by using Ohm's law, we know that I is equal to V upon R. Here in this system, current is Ig, voltage is V, and the net resistance is R plus G, because R is connected in series with the galvanometer. If we rearrange it, we get R is equal to, let us do it in two steps. R plus G is equal to V upon Ig, and then we get R is equal to V upon Ig minus G. Okay, so this is the resistance capital R that we are going to use in series with a galvanometer to form a high resistance voltmeter. So by connecting a high resistance capital R in series with a galvanometer, we get a voltmeter of the desired range. Also, the deflection in the galvanometer is proportional to the current Ig. We know that the deflection is proportional to the Ig, and hence it also depends on the voltage capital V. So we can adjust the scale such that it reads the value of potential difference directly. Okay, since deflection depends on Ig and hence it depends on capital V, and we have to adjust the scale such that it reads the value of potential difference directly. Hence a voltmeter is a high resistance galvanometer. So what we conclude, just as ammeter was a shunted or low resistance galvanometer, similarly conclusion here is that voltmeter is a high resistance galvanometer, and its effective resistance RV. Now RV means resistance of voltmeter. RV is equal to R plus G, which is much greater than capital G. Okay, though the resistance of the voltmeter is much greater than the resistance capital G. This is about the conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. So we have studied that how can we convert galvanometer into an ammeter and voltmeter, and conclusion is that for ammeter we have to shunt galvanometer by a small resistance, by connecting that small resistance into parallel with the galvanometer, and the value of that small resistance capital S is actually equal to Ig upon I minus Ig into G. And in case of voltmeter, we have to connect that galvanometer into by a high resistance capital R in series, and the value of that high resistance capital R is R plus R equals V upon Ig minus G. Okay, so the value of shunt is Ig upon I minus Ig into G. This we have to connect in parallel with G to form ammeter, and the value of high resistance capital R is equal to V upon Ig minus G. This we have to connect in series with galvanometer to form a voltmeter. So this was the conversion of a galvanometer into ammeter and voltmeter respectively. So this was all about this video, and for further topics, stay tuned, stay safe. Thank you.